Through the ages, the world has watched in silence as empires have risen and fallen. Great powers that once ruled continents now reduced to dust and memory. Historians have searched for centuries to uncover why. Why mighty empires collapse? And more often than not, the answer doesn't lie on the battlefield. It lies in the mint, in the currency. Because when the money weakens, the empire trembles. Let's begin our journey with the most studied empire of them all, Rome. At its peak, the Roman Empire stretched from Britain to Arabia. Its economy ran on a gleaming silver coin, the denarius. Each coin, 4.5 grams of pure silver, trusted across continents. It was more than money. It was faith in metal form. Then came Emperor Nero. In 50 AD, Nero decided 100% silver was too generous. He reduced it by 10%. And the silver he saved went straight into his treasury. That was history's first recorded currency devaluation. Over the next 250 years, emperor after emperor followed his lead. By 200 AD, the denarius had only half its silver left. By 300 AD, the silver content was less than 5%. People lost faith in the coin and in their government. Markets turned to barter. Soldiers refused to fight for worthless pay. And slowly, the empire that ruled the world cracked from within. From its ashes rose the feudal lords, dukes and barons, and Europe entered what we now call the Dark Ages. But Rome didn't fall in a day. It eroded through greed, mismanagement, and a currency that lost its soul. Fast forward to the 16th century. Spain. After Columbus discovered the Americas, Spanish conquerors of Mexico and Peru flooded Europe with gold and silver from the New World. Spain became the richest nation on earth. But as history teaches us, easy wealth is a dangerous gift. Instead of investing in trade or industry, Spain spent its fortune on wars, defending the Catholic faith, fighting Protestants, challenging England. With nearly no factories, the people depended on imports. Even the weapons and ships had to be bought from France and England, the same countries which they were fighting. So while Spanish ships arrived heavy with gold, the gold quietly flowed out again, paying for foreign goods and endless wars. Within 150 years, Spain, the richest empire in the world, was bankrupt. The first nation in history to declare sovereign default. The richest empire died drowning in its own gold. Then came Britain, the 19th century, the age of the Industrial Revolution and the Union Jack. The British Empire ruled over a quarter of the globe. From Africa to Asia, its colonies fed London's wealth. Especially India, the jewel in the crown. Gold from India backed the British pound, the world's first true global reserve currency. But ambition has a price. The empire stretched thin. 2 world wars drained its coffers. And when the guns finally fell silent, the pound has lost its shine. India was free, the colonies gone. And Britain, once the empire where the sun never set, now stood in the shadow of a new power, the United States of America. After World War II, the world needed stability. The US dollar stepped forward, strong, trusted, backed by unmatched military might. The American century had begun. But history, as always, loves a sequel. Like the Romans and the Spaniards and the British, the United States loves to peddle its military influence around the world. Nearly 160,000 American troops are based in 750 military bases in 80 countries around the world. Its 9 carrier strike groups sail around the world, striking awe and fear. Today, the United States spends nearly $1 trillion every year on defense. For the perspective, only 20 countries have GDP more than $1 trillion. But that's not important. What is important is that all this addiction to spread its military influence is not funded from the US government's own sources, but through borrowed money. Shocked? Yes. The United States borrows money to not only fund its military excesses but also to run its own government. As on date, the US government owes a shocking $38 trillion in debt. And more shocking is that the current US GDP is only $30 trillion. Clearly, the country owes more than what it produces every year. So the question arises, is America walking the same path as Rome, Spain, and Britain? Because when debt rises and currency weakens, trust begins to fade, first slowly, then suddenly. For decades, the US dollar ruled the world trade. Oil was sold in dollars, creating the mighty petrodollar system. But times are changing, and so are the US government policies. Its sanctions on Russia because of the Ukraine war has resulted in Russia being forced to sell oil in Chinese yuan and Indian rupees. The stringent trade tariffs imposed on India and Brazil forced these countries to swap goods and technology directly. Even Saudi Arabia, which never before sold its oil in exchange of nothing but US dollars, is today ready to sell oil to China in Chinese yuan. The result? A slow but steady drift away from the dollar. And if history is any guide, that's the first tremor before the earthquake. So is the United States empire facing the same sad destiny as one faced by the mighty Romans, the wealthy Spaniards, or the crafty British? Historians and many of them have started sounding alarm bells. The US trajectory seems all too similar. But here's where the American story might be different. Rome, Spain, and Britain had built empires by plundering and looting other countries. But the US built its wealth by exploiting its own resources. Its rich natural resources, gold, oil, minerals. It is the largest producer of corn, soybeans, beef, and more. Its farms are efficient. Its industry is innovative. Yes, the debt is huge. Yes, the dollar faces challenges. But America still has something that fallen empires lacked, the power to rebuild from within. And that could be its greatest strength. Empires rise, empires fall. But what truly decides their fate is not the sword or their wealth. Rather, it is how wisely they wield their sword and manage their wealth. This has been globalheadwinds.com, exploring the patterns of power, money, and history. If you enjoyed this episode, like, share, and subscribe. Because history loves to repeat itself on and on and on.